Hello and welcome back to the Offstage Podcast. This is our second episode. Unfortunately, it did get delayed. We're sick, all of us.
We caught the plague from that chance, I think.
Yeah, a little too much of the plague. Today we have two special people. We've replaced John and Gray because we got a lot of complaints about them. And we've brought on Shawn, Yo is Poppin, and Logan, Fatalis.
Hello.
To do a Mount Rushmore of Whitewater. All four of us, we are literally sitting in the order that we went from the most far away president to our current leadership.
Literal oldest president.
I'm only 24. That's not that old.
34, right?
I'm not 34. Jesus Christ.
I saw you had to use a walker to get up here.
Yeah, no. We had to help him up the stairs.
I felt 34 when I came back and Cooper called me Unk to one of the freshmen. That was fucked up. That was so fucked up of you.
No. It's honestly nice to have Shawn because...
I'm so happy to be back.
Yeah, we don't get to see him very often, so we lured him out with some exposure online.
I mentioned that I think this is the first time that the four of us have been in the same room for probably... Because I remember you came to one club this semester.
I wasn't at that
but
one.
You weren't there.
Nope.
So probably the first time in 2 years that all four of us have all been in the same spot.
The amount of aura in this room, the power that
the amount of leadership,
I just remember
right?
seeing him last semester in Walmart when I was grabbing peanut butter. And I was like, oh, hi, Shawn.
That's so right. I remember that.
And he was like, don't worry, I'll be at club next semester.
2 years.
Come back.
I've had this thing recently where it's like, guys, don't worry, I'll be back in a semester. And then I vanish for 2 years and I resurface into the earth like, hello.
It's not as bad as Envy, though. Envy, disappeared for a couple, days. And then...
Dude,
we were like, Envy, where are you? You said you were coming to club. And he's like, I'm in Alaska. And he posted a picture.
I think that very same day was the day I started talking to everyone again.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, no, he was just like, I'm on a boat in Alaska.
We didn't know he was going. He just showed up there.
That was so real.
But before we go on, Shawn, I don't think most people I feel like don't know who Shawn is.
Which is crazy because he was a very important pillar of Wisconsin Smash.
Yeah, but with how many newer people we have in the scene, because you probably exited the scene 2023.
I exited the scene somewhere around 2023, near the end of 2022 and the start of 2023. I vanished.
It was, I think, your last tournament was Nightmare in Hawk Street, but that was your last hurrah.
I'm gonna agree with you because I don't remember it.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
I think I went 1-2 at that tournament. I was like, you know what? It's cooked.
Yeah. Why don't you? At least the three of us, everyone mostly knows us. Maybe you might be a little bit more. You don't travel as much.
People know who I am.
People know Logan Fatalis.
Really?
They know who I am. They know one of my tags.
They know Fatalis,
right?
The noobs don't know.
Do you think a Morgos is sort of Yo was Poppin'? I don't think so.
I feel like it's like the respect your elders kind of thing where you have to tell the young kids where and why they have what they have now.
Mm-hmm. You tell the young kids where and why Yo is Poppin'.
So I to start everything off, I was a student in 2019. I saw the current club president in fall 2019 pre-COVID was a man named Zodi. And I was coming out, when I was coming out of high school, I was a part of an esports organization for Smash Ultimate. And the day one I showed up to UW Whitewater, I was like, where's the Smash Bros Club? It's gotta be here. It's gotta be something. And then I found it and I went and there was 20 people with no energy. And I was like, Smashy Bros, why is everyone just so quiet here? And I went to a few tournaments. I put my energy into the local, and it was kind of just dead. There was no advertisement. There was no VODs. There was pretty much nothing. It was basically an underground local that wasn't getting any traction. And I was like, the main reason why I really wanted to step up is I told myself in the back of my mind, there's no way only 20 people like Smashy Bros. And that's the kind of mission I ran on when I first started to become president. It was that there's no way there's only 20 people at this entire university that want Smash Bros. There's no way we won't have any funding. There's no way we can't grow. There's got to be something that we can work with here. So I ran for that mission on a president. I sat down with people who came to our local, and I basically... I remember when I was running for president for the first time, I literally sat down with individual club members and I talked to them for 30 minutes about what Smash Bros Club could be.
Jesus Christ.
I know, I legit, I put my heart and soul into it.
What are you? What are you?
That's what I did.
Just grab them and pull them out of the room and be like, your turn, come here, like a teacher.
That's literally what I did. I took one vote at a time because people there were just so complicit. There was no new people. It was kind of like that closed off friend group, but nobody really willing to put more energy into it.
So wait, did you ran for president as a freshman?
I ran for president as a freshman against Zodi, who was like a junior or senior. I won in a landslide. And then
in a landslide,
by the way.
It wasn't close.
Yeah, it wasn't very.
2-0 wasn't close.
And then COVID happened, and then I was like, "Oh, great, that's beautiful." And I had to learn how to run a club during COVID. I had to do it. There were so many complications going against me because it was like literally the week after I was elected president, COVID happened, and everyone got sent home. And I was like, "Okay, that's nice." And over the course of 3 years, I built advertisements for the club. When I didn't have money to pay for commissioners to make the posters, I made the posters. When people didn't know about our locals, I was the one talking to them about it. I was the one advertising about it. I was the one saying that we need this, we need that, we need to get these people here. And when people would show up to give us a chance, I would go up to them and be like, listen, I know it's held together by duct tape. Give me a year. You have to trust me. It's going to turn into something beautiful.
I remember in a lot of, So you were the president and I was the vice for a bit, and I remember in most of those meetings, I was like, Shawn's gonna fly off the rails again.
Nobody believed me, but now it's like 5 years come to pass. I look back on everything that's happened with the club, and I was like, I was right in the end.
It was just me as like a scared sophomore, junior, being like, oh my God, they're gonna
That's
kill him.
the thing is like most people, and that's my thing is where it's like when I think about goals, when I think about what I want to push and what I want to do, you can't be scared growing a local. If I literally had nothing but like a passion. And my passion was driven by there's no way only XYZ people would show up to my local if it's done properly, or like there's no way only this amount of people like Smash Bros. And so it's like let me just, if you put your passion and your energy into it, like, and if you just focus on what's the next step? Where do I go? It manifests into something.
Well, it's not just your own passion and energy too, because you've also put your own money into club. I mean, the bin we use it's your money that you bought that bin.
A lot of
we still use that blue bin.
A lot of the first prize pots for like Yo Was Poppin' birthday bash, or like one of the first starting tournaments.
Just like club equipment.
I put my own money into the tournaments. Like the club was making like in 2020 to 2021, we were making like negative money. Like I was picking money out of my own wallet to ensure that one day the club could make its own money.
Yeah. And I mean, it worked. Like fast forward, and we've got clutch up, cross slasher, which we'll get to over the course of this many leaderships how that got.
Right.
So talk a little bit more about the COVID. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I want to know more about like what was the 3 years.
Well, I went to one of the tournaments pre-COVID that I think, because you took over that spring, right?
Yep.
So you got a little bit right before COVID, because I was in March when COVID
fall
hit.
2021, there was like practically nothing.
So you went like February.
Right. I basically had thankfully like a month to figure out how like the rights and reservations of everything to like get the club really going to go, because like in fall everyone was online, nobody was doing anything, so we were just like chilling on Discord. So I was like, okay, at least I have like a buffer where it's like it's expected like you can't really grow.
Fall 2021?
No, wait, hold on.
I think
I'm talking
2021.
Spring 2020, right before COVID. Because I went to one a year. That was the first tournament I went to. Was a tournament I think you were the president for. You were casting at that tournament. Matador won. He won with Terry. He threw his hat off into the crowd. It was awesome.
That was Wex.
Yes, it was.
I did not run Wex.
So that was right before. Must have been a couple weeks because it was that spring.
But to answer your question, Gavin, those 3 years were. Say your question again. Like, what was I doing?
I just want to know. Yeah, because I mean, so you took over what, spring 2020?
I took over spring 2020,
and things only got. I mean, I remember. So we both came to UW Whitewater as freshmen in fall 2021, and things were mostly back to normal by then. So where did you pick up from that point?
So when I was elected president, it was pretty much like we had to like lock down for like the rest of the semester. I think I was able to do like a few locals in like the original Highland room, which there would be people like, oh God, who was like the OGs that showed up? That's when like Aaron showed up. That's when like Mario showed up. And I think a few others I might be forgetting because I haven't been in the scene in forever. My mind is fading me. But there were like OG, I think that's when like Valkyrie would still show up.
Val showed up, Caden was there, Celestio was active then. Yeah.
And then that was like right before, like it was either right after when things got loosened up or right before. But that's when like when those locals would happen, that's when I really learned like, okay, this is when we had 40 people in a single classroom, it was like, okay, this room is tiny. Where do we go? Or it's like, wait a minute, we're actually getting like out of university people showing up. How do I get more people to show up? It's kind of like when you look at like my 3-year time span, I kept going back on one question, and the one question was, what is one step I can take today to like improve the local tomorrow? Because like when you're developing, Whitewater in 2020 was practically nothing. It was like, I don't want to say homeschooled, but it was practically like closed off. And it's like, how do I slowly break away the fence that was softly built? Not that that was a bad thing, but it was like an unintentional thing. It's like, how do I open the floodgates a little bit? And it was softly being like, oh, look, we have a new club room. Or if we didn't get the room that we want, it's like, look, we have this room, but it's still bigger than the old one. Or it's like, listen, I know we don't have like streaming equipment, but like we have really nice people. Everyone's really friendly. Everyone's having fun. It's just constantly trying to like not one up yourself, but like, cause like constantly finding things to go better and better and better is always intimidating.
More and more and more.
But it's like, it's just like making it more optimal as the years went on. And cause like, what was the first big tournament I ran?
Well, I mean, Warhawk Weekly #2 had, what, 4 PR players in attendance, I think?
Rumble.
Rumble. Warhawk, wait.
That's what
No, it was before Warhawk Rumble, wasn't it? Or no, it was Warhawk Rumble too, because that was the, second tournament, fall 2021.
Right.
That's the one that had Caden, that back when Baskin was Waffles.
Right, because it's like,
we had a bunch of people back then that showed up.
If you look back at the Warhawk Rumbles, they were not run perfectly. I was basically, like, I had people like Matt, Josh, and a few other people who were softly helping me behind the scenes, but like in terms of who was putting in the most energy, it was me. I was pretty much running a one-man show the entire time with like softly getting help behind the scenes, but in terms of like the amount of work output, I was putting in most of the work output. And so it was a matter of like, some of the locals I ran were not perfect. Like, I remember during the one thing that really pissed me off that was kind of just like a whatever was like, Yo, it's Poppin' birthday bash was 1.1 ratio. And having to bounce back off of that after it being like soft Twitter drama for like, I think like a day.
Yeah.
It just being like, hey.
That was my Switch too, by the way. Someone changed my Switch's knockback. For those who don't know, his birthday tournament, we had my Switch was on the stream setup, and someone had set it to 1.1 times knockback, and we didn't find out until like well into top 8 or something.
Like winners finals, we found out.
Yeah, it was like semis or
What
something.
made them check? Was it
Cloud up smash? I think it was Caden playing its Pow Pow. Maybe it was PR Able or somebody else. I think it was Caden versus Pow Pow. And he up smashed him and he died at like 60 or 70 or something with like rage, but like obscenely early. And he killed him with dash attack at some dumb percent.
That's
too.
what I remember, the dash
attack. Yeah, and people were like, let me check. And it was like,
The thing is that like when you're running things solo, when you're running your own local, when you're starting from the ground up, like you have to learn how to bounce off the punches like that. You have to really learn like if you go into it thinking you have to be perfect, like you're gonna look at like the audio being slightly off.
I mean, that couldn't even been your fault though. Like you had no control over
the thing is, it's like when there's going to be factors that are out of your control when it comes to running a local and when it comes to running a tournament. And the best thing that you can do is just rely on your character. Because it's like you are the face of your tournament, and if you have authenticity and like genuineness behind your character, people are going to be upset about something happening. But like there have been so many countless times where I've heard like, oh, the seating at this tournament Poppin's running is terrible, or blah blah blah, this setup thing's whatever. But it's like you're going to show up to my local in a month from now anyways, and you just because
still going to be here,
just because you know I'm going
see you next week.
It's like you can't take it personally, but you have to like find the room to adapt and grow, and like sometimes you kind of have to take the punch, but it's also like not taking it to heart.
Well, I think one of the things too, though, is that especially coming back from COVID, it wasn't just about like organization, but like quantity of people. Like we need enough people in the room for club coming out of COVID that like we need to make sure that we have people to fill the room and play the game, because you could have the nicest club ever, but if no one shows up, no one's there.
Right, and
I think you're really good at pulling people.
So funny story. I went to I went to a furry convention 2 weeks ago. I know.
Wait.
And I ran into Mario just loosely, and I invited him over for like we were having like a Friendsgiving, and I invited him over for dinner, and I was softly talking to him, and he was like, "Poppin, you just have like this authenticity to you, where you just pull in really nice people into like when you did tournaments, and now when we're here having like a Friendsgiving dinner, and it's like, how do you do it? Like, how do you just like always know how to like pull in people for like a really good time?" And it's just like, you just have to have that kind of like soft character development where
and
it's
you're
like
loud.
And I'm loud. You have to be like the loud voice.
I feel like we're alternating. It's like loud, quiet, loud. I mean, you're not that loud, but like quiet.
You have to be the
definitely
voice that pulls people in and lets you know, like, this is going to be a good time. Like, you don't have to have, like, the perfect local to invite people to create memories. Like, I remember talking to Bandisnoot about, I said his name wrong probably, but, like, about creating Timber Tuesday. And it was, like, 7 people in, like, Eagle County, like,
Rest in peace, Timber.
It was, like, 7 people in, like, Eagle Prairie Market. And people, the worst thing that happened there was, like, oh, my God, there's so many flies here. But, like, it was such a cute environment, and everyone's having such a fun time that people were like, oh, fuck it, the flies or whatever.
Timber Tuesday fly and the Timber Tuesday mosquito will live on in infamy.
I'm pretty sure that Timber Tuesday fly has more PR wins than.
Probably does.
Upset factor, like 9 with the Timber Tuesday fly.
I mean, there's a reason that we keep asking you to come back for the involvement fairs. Whitewater does like an involvement fair for student orgs every year for like new membership. But like that's why we ask you to come back, because you're so good at getting your voice out there and getting eyes on club and being super inviting. That, I mean, not to say we lack. Right. But compared to Shawn, it's like
no, it's like a Pokemon battle.
People don't know what they're missing out on if they don't know what's happening. And so if you pull them in and show them not even just like what's going on, but what could be going on and like what there can still be done, people get enticed, curious, and then they just show up and then they stay.
Right. Well, that's what I like about, I think, kind of the theme of kind of moving on through the Rushmore here is we have like not a bottling down, but like a enhancement or just making a more concentrated, consistent, like high production result. Especially when you look at like the events as they've gone down from the first WEX that I attended before you even took over, compared to the WEXs we had later to the esports organization and partnering with them, and then things like that we run now with Clutch Up, King Me, Cross Slasher, those things.
Like I feel like my era was really just like roping people in and showing like, hey, look, we're developing, and then like as my term ended, when you guys stepped up, it was really like, okay, we have the people, now it's just production
high
value.
Production.
Now it's just showing them what we can do, because what you guys do, there's no way. Huh? No, I'm gone.
No, you're going.
Oh, I'm going. What you guys do now, I could never do by myself, because I think like my peak tournament was like 75 people, but you guys have doubled that.
Yeah, isn't that insane?
How in 5 years, like we went from a 20-person local to like a 135, 150 person like semester.
Check the numbers. What are the numbers, Coop?
What is the number?
The most, I mean, not Nightmare.
Cross Slasher 2.
Yeah, Cross Slasher 2, I think, ended at 137 after DQs.
I'd shit myself if I had to run that tournament by myself.
Well, that's the thing, is that you never had to. I feel like that was, because I think I was an officer my freshman year.
Oh my God.
And when we talked about this, when you were president and I was an officer, is Shawn, please delegate. Like, give me something to do. And then
you did.
My struggles with that was because I had to run things alone for so long. I was like, the thing I'm working on right now, it's like if I feel like I'm not running it, like I don't know how it's going.
Right.
And I don't like not knowing. And so the reason why I struggled so hard with that is because like I have to know how this is going on.
I'm
right
exactly
now.
the same way, dude.
Yes, you are.
Let loose, let go.
Yes.
Because it's like
so hard.
The easiest days of my life were when it was the day of it was like Nightmare on Hawk Street. And the easiest day of my life was when it was Mitch, and not our Mitch, but oh my God, why am I forgetting their names? The 2 really good commentators that we had there. It was, oh my God, the commentators.
Like Luke? Like Mochi? Luke?
Mochi, that's what it was. It was Mochi Mochi and somebody else's name. It was when
was Willow there?
Willow, that's what it was. It was Mochi and Willow. I was running the tournament for the first time. I didn't have commentators. I was just gonna run the shit and just manage the stream. But they were like, "Can we just commentate the whole thing?" And they just commentated Nightmare on Hawk Street 8 hours straight. The entire time. They were the only 2 commentators. And I was like, "Are you sure you guys are good?" It was like, "Yeah." They commentated the entire tournament.
I'm pretty sure that's not true.
Is that not true?
Because I'm pretty sure I've commentated sets from Nightmare on Hawk Street. Someone could pull up the
been a different.
I might be misremembering.
Are you thinking of Wex?
Maybe one of the older.
It probably was Wex, because Nightmare was like the
That's what it was.
Nightmare was the first tournament that I started to like help at.
I'm probably getting tournament names wrong because I'm old.
It's been a while.
I remember being present for Nightmare on Hawk Street.
Okay, I'm misremembering that.
That was well into.
To reroute what I was going to say is it's basically when you network and put your voice out there, and when you really like show people your passion, there will be people like you who will come up to me and be like, how can I help make this easier for you? And that's the reason why Mochi and Willow were like, they started their commentating stuff like here, and now they're commentating like C3. I keep seeing them do like bigger and bigger things with commentary and other stuff, and it's like so many people started their stuff in Whitewater because I was coming up and I was like, you know what, come with me. Let's do this thing together. You can make my day so much easier if you're also doing this. And people just funneled their energy into it.
You definitely put Whitewater on the map for sure.
We were nothing in 2020.
I agree, because now it's like Madison, Milwaukee, Whitewater, North. I'm gonna get.
Yeah,
in 2020, nobody was saying Whitewater.
North and Central Wisconsin.
Sorry, North and Central. They're different.
And
I got in trouble.
One of the other places
Sorry.
in there.
You have no idea the funny story. Like I remember the hardest conversations when I was president was convincing people to drive an hour and a half to bumfuck Whitewater for a 30-person local. That was a wash to some PR.
Okay,
players.
what you're convincing was Warrock Rumble number 7. $300 prize pot bonus, and everyone showed up. Everyone
literally
was there.
whenever, because like that's
people with tags you can't pronounce for rolling up from like
I remember
Illinois. It's like, what are you doing here? You drove like 4 hours to Warrock Rumble for $500 bonus? Oh, I guess that makes sense.
That's also the soft thing. Where it's like when I had money, I would just be like, well, if I can't convince them to come for free, I was like, softly $200 prize spot. Hey, now do you want to show up? And then it was
it's a good incentive.
Softly.
It was like a soft bribe, but like it's like soft manipulation, but it worked.
Right.
So what happened? How did you exit then? How did it go on to him?
Okay, my exiting is like, I'm very pissed off with how I exited because like I had a bunch of life shit happen where I became like dead broke. And I had like no money, and I had to drop out of school because I couldn't afford it, and my grades just went. And I had to like work for 2 years to kind of like get my money back so I could go back to school. And so my exit was kind of like, I never fully talked about it because I was like embarrassed about it at the time.
And you do whatever you're comfortable with. Obviously.
Right, yeah.
But it was like,
just live to 1,000 people.
In 2023, I was basically like out of money. My grades were terrible. I was on academic probation. And so for a semester, I was forcibly kicked out of the university because of my grades. And after that happened, I was like, well, I'm broke, so I'm not going to be coming back. And so my exit was kind of more forced than anything because I would have loved, because right when you were telling me to do more was when I was financially stressed.
Well, I was telling you to give me more, not for you to do more.
I was going to...
Shawn, you might have no money, but we need a $500 prize pot.
We need Krillin dude to show up.
Right when I was convincing myself that like I can delegate, then like we have a team in front of me, I was like slapped out of the university, and I was like, you know what? Somebody else needs to pick this up. And I feel like even though my life was taking a turn for the worse, my exit was like at the perfect time to like give the role to somebody else to build off of, to do what I couldn't do because I was just lost in my own side of the world.
Yeah, and that definitely could have been me, but I was having not the same, but similar issues. I had to drop out for personal reasons after only being president for 1 semester. So Shawn and I, we had to scramble to figure out how to pick out who's going to be next because we spent that whole first half of that fall semester, that fall 2022. You had to teach me everything because you had taken everything and put it on your own plate. I also had to learn everything for a while, so we spent how many hours in Discord call?
That's the thing.
Talking and reviewing all the roles and duties and getting everything set up, and it was a lot of time to put into that.
There were so many what ifs that could have happened that could have went wrong because me suddenly having to leave the university, if I didn't have you, like that knowledge was just going to go into the void, and we could have easily went back into like caveman.
It could have restarted.
It could have restarted again. Like we could have. That's why I was also really pressured on when I was leaving because it's like I had such limited time to teach you everything, and if you weren't there, like everything I would have done would have been gone. So even though you were only there for a semester, you were like the transfer.
Yeah, it was a bit of carry the torch.
And only there by a semester is like a little disingenuous because you're still here. You might
I've been helping.
Like a student,
I was a TO when I came back.
Right.
Yeah.
You might not be a student and you might not be in like a leadership role in the club itself, but you are still like TOing our events.
I run check-in at everything.
You're here for
it's my favorite thing to
meeting,
do.
So you may as well be.
If we have like an emergency, we're like, oh my god, like Logan, like can you help us with this?
Like there's a reason why the Mount Rushmore is it is what it is because like without you, like the things I would have done would have transferred to Gavin, or like the build up momentum just never would have happened.
It's also because we don't have Zodi here and there's no more presidents past this point. But
you're important.
You cannot fit the last one on the Rushmore. No, I appreciate that. But that brief time where I got to be president was nice, but I had to figure out a scramble in terms of getting all the things I wanted done through. There were a couple reasons when I was like a TO before president that I was like had some ideas. Number one was the stage list. When we first had the Warhawk Rumbles, both Lilat and Yoshi's Story was legal, and that was my first act. As soon as I was president, I was like, no more.
Executive orders.
I'm going to drop this because if there's anyone that's going to say it should be me because I can just vanish again. I think Whitewater is the reason why the unified stage list of Wisconsin
we'll talk about
and why
that
goes into everything else.
Yeah, we'll talk about
I think
that
it's because of Whitewater.
So
Big
I
conspiracy.
think when I was a TO, not yet president, then I convinced you to get rid of Lilat, and that was an easy convince. You're like, sure, and because I don't think anyone really wanted Lilat at the time. And then I was president, and I was like, I don't have enough power then, but now, no more Yoshis. Goodbye.
You should have. The one semester I had Zodi as a vice president, the entire semester he was arguing with me to have WarioWare be put on the stage list, and that was my biggest controversy. That was the biggest controversy. That was the biggest controversy I ever had to deal with. It was literally a month of just debate to the point where it had to go up to a club vote because Zodi would not leave me alone about it. It had to go to vote.
Yeah.
We had to vote about it to get him to stop talking about it, and I won in a landslide. Easy 2-0.
Yeah.
2-0.
But it was
close, by the
crazy.
way.
It was crazy, but
Some people
that's the
really
past.
just want their specific stages. I know. I mean, we can talk about that now, I guess, the Wisconsin Unified Stage List, because originally we had our rule set when I was president, when Yoshi's was gone, we had a couple stage list options. When Wisconsin kind of got together and was like, we kind of want a unified rule set just for the sake, consistency between your local. You don't want to have to like worry about Yoshi's Story here, Lilat here, WarioWare here. Just want to be standard, and especially with things like DSR, number of bands, number of stages in general, because there's a lot. Like some people had Northern Cave legal, but our rule set at the time was the only one in the state that now became Midwest unified. So it's not just Wisconsin anymore. So I'm really happy with that because that's like my favorite stage list possible. Is like character first. Unfortunately, Kalos is still here, but I haven't tried to get rid of that. But no Yoshi's, no Lilat, character first, no DSR, 3 bands was like my perfect rule set. And then it just got voted in the Wisconsin TOs. They decided they liked that one the most. And then that expanded beyond Wisconsin to all of the Midwest. And it's even like certain majors run that now, and they call it Midwest Unified. We got the nice little graphic for it. So that's like the little thing that I left behind. Even if it's not solely me, obviously it's a collection of TOs all across Wisconsin.
It's the tree you chained yourself to so they wouldn't chop it down.
I just happened to like produce the nice little like, hey, Whitewater kind of did this on their own, and it just happened to be selected, and it became something so much bigger, and that was kind of out of my hands, but it was really cool to be a part of that. But yeah, that and spending the club money. I know we were in a couple meetings for getting club budget and things like that, and trying to figure out what to do.
Sufak.
With
that shit is awful.
It's terrible. But the intake of money, even just from stuff like tournaments when we're not running big bonuses, things like that, and we have money coming in, it's like, what can we spend the club money on? Unfortunately, the way Sufak worked is I didn't get any of the money for my term. It was like all backlogged and
so you would do the meeting in the fall, and that would be your money for the next year.
I wanted like to buy so many,
to spend, like, an entire
many
semester.
things. So I had all these things budgeted out for what I wanted to buy, and I couldn't buy it because I had to leave. And then I remember bugging you both for like a year after, like, can we buy GameCube adapters with the club money? Can we buy GameCube adapters?
Just to clarify too, SUFAC is the organization that funds the
student clubs. Yeah.
Student clubs. So they give us a budget allocation. We go to a meeting. We are like, here's how much money we want. Here's what we're going to spend it on. And then they will, in a couple weeks, give you like, here's what we can give you, or here's what we will give you. So
right.
The easiest way I explain it is just like government funding.
Yeah. But something important too though is I think because I've been to other like even UW system like club tournaments, they have some school equipment they can use. We had none in total. Like our only equipment was all grassroots from students and Shawn that he paid for out of his own pocket. That was literally all we had.
I don't think any of you were there when I went to the first SUFAC meeting. Were you there? I think it was either you or Matt.
The very first one. No, I wouldn't have been there.
I got my ass chewed out out at that first SUFAC meeting because it was like the club had never applied for SUFAC. They thought we just started the org, and I literally brought everything I made and everything I paid for out of pocket to be like, look, this is our. I brought spreadsheets of our club growth. I brought all the I brought some equipment that I've paid for. I showed the graphic design and the logo design and everything that we did. And there was one person who was just, I don't know if they just hated me or were very against me, but they were like, actually, you can't use this shade of purple because it's copyrighted by the university.
Okay, wait.
No,
that wasn't. So that must not have been the first, or maybe it was the first one. We didn't have SUFAC funding before. It's been so long because that was 2022. It's been quite a while. Not on top of mine.
I got my.
But that meeting. Yeah, I very much remember.
For the coloring, the logo design, how I was presenting the org, how I was holding the equipment.
And that's why I got turned into Falco, right? Because originally it looked a lot more like really Warhawk.
If you ever wonder why the UW Whitewater Smash Club is a Falco, is because I wanted it to be the Warhawk symbol because I was like, oh, Whitewater Warhawk, that's super easy.
Yeah,
they're like, actually, it's copyrighted, and we could technically shut down your organization because
we will kill you.
They literally, that's basically what they said. They were like, yeah, we're just gonna kill you if you keep this logo. And I was like, well, I guess we're not getting funding anymore.
Right. Well,
they gave me like $800, and I was like, oh.
Well, I remember coming out of that because that was the meeting where I was president, you were vice president, and Gavin was already selected as going to be the next president when I was on my way out. So he also attended, and he had no context at all.
I just
told him
no words. I was
If you look back on the recording, because they record those meetings, if you look back on the recording, I was shitting myself.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of mad at you then, actually.
No, because I'm not gonna lie, I fumbled hard.
Yeah, there were certain things that they would ask about club resources because the rule for things like campus resources is if the school paid for it, it could only be kept on school grounds. And it was his equipment that he kept in his apartment because it was his, and the school didn't pay for any of it. But he didn't explain that super clearly, so the SUFAC people were getting mad at him for keeping school-paid equipment when it wasn't school-paid, and things like that. It was a whole thing.
To be fair.
And he was he looked nervous.
To be fair, that meeting there was such an intimidation aura walking into that room.
No, I literally we just had ours for next year like a couple weeks ago. So it was just me.
They're fucking sharks.
It was me and Jonathan, and I was like, Jonathan, I'm going to warn you. I'm gonna let you do the talking because this is the budget you designed, and it's for you next year when you're president. So I'm gonna let you do the talking. But if you need to tap out, I am right here. But they're going to swarm you like vultures. And he was like, okay. And we left, and he was like shivering.
Dude,
it was like, what in the world
oh
is
my
that?
God, it was awful. I hated those meetings, but it's really, no matter what though, we still even though we left that meeting, and I was literally I remember literally looking at you like, I'm so fucking sorry.
We didn't get 500. Remember how much we got?
I think it was either $800 or $1,200.
$1,700.
What?
And I didn't get to do anything with that money, and I don't even know if anyone told him how to do anything with that money.
No one told me.
Yeah, because it was so scuffed with that. Yeah, dealing with school bureaucracy is fun. That's the thing they don't tell you about running your clubs. It's not just about the on the ground work with the tournaments. It's all the behind the scenes dealing with faculty.
And there's privilege behind that too. We're the fact that we started where we are, the fact that we're able to reserve rooms through a university, the fact that we're able to even request these funds in the first place, even though it comes with their own complications. Some places can't do that. I don't know what you guys, because you guys do the Culver's thing. What is it called? I forget the tournament. When you guys
the scoop.
Yeah. Sorry.
The Culver's
I don't know. Do you guys have to pay for the reservations for that?
No, it's just an open room.
Shout out Aaron Takaiga.
Yeah,
that's all.
He's our producer. He just called them and was like, "Can we run a local there?" And they're like, "Why not?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, to them it was well, they're gonna buy Culver's here because it's over the dinner period.
They buy Culver's.
Oh, and we bought Culver's.
And so it's because it's no people. Sometimes when if Aaron didn't do that phone call, you come up with the intimidations of oh, do we have to pay for this? Do we have to There's so many factors of fear that can come up where it's do I have to have my money to do this reservation? Do I have to give them a head count? There's so many details and factors that people are so stuck to about I have to know this, that they don't take that first step and plunge into making a local.
Yeah, I think Whitewater's been very blessed with their venues in terms of how we've been able to get them and things like that. Maybe we should move on to what we've been doing with those venues for the sake of time.
I was going to say we gotta move on.
A lot.
I've been trying to signal John Gallion over there like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta move on.
Over the clock, he says.
I've been signaling to him doing this for 3 minutes. He hasn't gotten the.
Let's have Gavin talk because you've done a lot moving on from what. I mean, I basically was here's a bunch of stuff. Go.
Yeah. So you. Okay, so you were the president. Who was your vice? Was it Shawn?
It was Shawn.
Sean was still like the
He was your vice
until
like spring 2022, and then he wasn't after that.
But then you had 3 TOs. It was you were president, Shawn was vice, and you had 3 TOs. I was one.
Verde
and
Brett.
And no, Brett wasn't a TO until like this most recent election.
I think it was Devin. Pap.
No, it wasn't.
No, was it Gottwald? Still?
It was Gottwald.
It was Gottwald.
Still Gottwald.
So it was basically like, hey, you had to leave, right? And it was like Shawn can't be president.
Yep.
Verde was running another club, and Gottwald
was graduating.
No.
Well, he was leaving when Shawn was.
Oh yeah, and then it was just like, oh, okay. And this was my second year. I remember being too scared to actually. So we have to give a speech to become a TO, and I remember the first elections. I was planned out what I wanted to say because I really wanted to help, and I just chickened out. And then I think the next time it came around, I did it, and within 2 months of me being an officer, I was a president.
Yeah, you were
Fun
just
fact, I never got
straight
elected.
up the ladder. No.
I never got elected.
No.
In my entire presidency, I never got elected. I mean, I got reelected.
Yeah.
Because no one ran against me.
Wasn't it like an executive vote? Like where it was just like
It was pretty much just the TOs, but it was basically a coup. Like the club didn't get to pick. Gavin, no one in club decided that Gavin should have been president. No one who wasn't an officer. We were just like, we think it should be him. It was mostly you and me.
Nobody would have
that,
said otherwise.
Was like looking in club and we were like,
I think it was because I backed it. Like if I was like, Gavin, what are you doing? Like people would have freaked out, but I was like, no, trust it. And it was like, okay.
Yeah, so I learned a lot. I don't know. So you were more of like a take everything from Shawn. I feel like when I took over, it was more of like, okay, like there are some things I can take, but there's a lot of things that I want to change. And so there was like I don't know, like just the way things were run, I feel like was a little bit different. I have a horrible memory, and I don't remember much.
I can maybe back you up on some of it. Because I still attended club even when I wasn't a student or president.
But I think it went like pretty smoothly. Like it was kind of, at first it was just kind of like the same thing. I know we kept running Warhawk Rumbles for a little bit. Then they got turned into Warhawk
Weeklies.
Warhawk Warm-Up.
Warm-Up.
Oh my god.
Which is basically the same thing as Warhawk Weekly. We changed the name because we didn't really like Warhawk Warm-Up.
And then our paid events were Warhawk Rumbles. And we had a couple of those. Obviously nothing to the regional scale that we do today. We had a couple of those that were run, and they were okay. But no, it was definitely shaky that first year. And then I feel like once the next year rolled around, I was president. I don't remember who my vice was.
It was still listed.
It was still Shawn.
It was still Shawn for that first semester.
Yeah,
I should not have been listed under anything. I was not a student.
Not involved.
Not involved at all. But no, it was hard, but it was good. It was good. We got a lot done. We moved rooms, thankfully. I feel like I only really remember the last 2 years, because the last 2 years were really where I feel like I came into my own. And that's when, most people know me in Wisconsin Smash as the Whitewater.
You're like the spokesperson pretty much.
Yeah.
You definitely took over more of the Shawn, because when I first started, everyone knew Shawn that was in the local scene. They'd be like, oh, hey, Poppin, what's up? All the top players would walk up to you and say hi. Because they feel like they've known you for a while. Because you would reach out.
TO stuff, and I was like, no, go to Logan.
Yeah,
I know.
You were Mr. Whitewater. Yep. And I feel like
you took that on
over,
for sure.
Which I think I still have.
Even graduating.
There's a transitional period.
Most people, even to this day, don't even know that I guess we'll get to that when we talk about Cooper, but most people don't even know that I'm not a part of, I still help out. I'm still there all the time, but I'm not a part of the leadership anymore.
Exactly, yeah.
That's what happens when you,
for club, though.
Yeah, for club. Yeah, I'll still run I'll help with all the regional stuff.
That's what happens when you leave a legacy. That's when it's when you put so much into it, where people go to you naturally. It's like you're the face of it, and it's it's so fun.
And I was going to college for education, to be a teacher, so this was literally perfect. It was this is a large group of people that I need to lead and command and make sure things stay organized.
Yeah, I like how Gavin says command, but we went from president to vice president to president into you calling Gavin a coop when how he rose to power.
Well, Gavin I had them pretty, in my command.
Gavin turns the club into a dictatorship.
No.
But then we had, so it must have been, when did you came 2022 then? Fall 2022?
That was my freshman year.
Yeah, fall 2022 was your freshman year. I know did you run that year?
Yeah.
You ran that year.
That year
you can run at the end of the year for the next fall.
That next year, the officers were me and Pob and Aaron.
Yeah. And then that year, I feel like that year was pretty smooth sailing. I knew, I was like, okay, this is
well,
what I
at the end of that first
Shawn.
semester in what would it be 2023, that fall 2023 semester. After that was when we finally kicked Shawn out, and then I
Get the fuck out of here.
I became vice. I also didn't get elected for that.
Yeah. And we ran Nightmare. I know you attended, but I think it was just us leadership wise for Nightmare on Hawk Street. Am I right on that?
Nightmare was fall 2023.
So that was us, right?
Didn't I get slotted in as an officer? Because I came back fall 2023. Even if I didn't, I was still like doing officer stuff.
I think you might have been doing officer stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if I was.
Because
Memory gets foggy
I don't
when.
even remember. Yeah, maybe you did replace me then.
I think I did. When you became VP, I think I slid in. Because they didn't even elect me, but I was like definitely involved with like running things and like debating. I know one of the big changes during your presidency was ping-ponging between how many casual to competitive events and paid events we run.
Yeah.
Because it was during your presidency that we went from like every
slithering people in and out of
right.
leadership.
Well, we went from every week a paid event to like alternating like paid casual to like 3 competitive events. Like that was new under you.
It was. I forgot about it. So we did paid, like just us paid, right? And then we did casual, then like a big monthly, like a Warhawk Rumble, where we invited
like
a bunch
pop
of people
bonus.
with a pop bonus. Casual, like we really only had one. Imagine, I mean, if we told our current students like Jonathan, 9,000 Hippos, Indeed, Connor, if we told them, hey, you get Warhawk Weekly once a month.
Yeah, now it's.
Wouldn't that be insane?
That would be that was insane to me. When I started,
Warhawk
I was
Weekly
like
once a month.
Only one free tournament.
I know you were a big proponent of making more
my
free
second tournament ever. I'm like fighting Connie for like my winners round 1.
To be fair, he just showed up to a free event for no reason.
He did come to our free tournaments.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah.
So
which I think that says something in and of itself of the quality of the tournaments. If we have like PR players from other states come, I don't think Connie was PR by then, but like really notable players coming from Illinois to our free locals on a Monday night. That says something about our tournaments.
Yeah, and we still do. With Danila's showed up to one. We get Just a Bagel all the time.
Lightning.
He's great to have. Yeah, Lightning just showed up randomly. It's like, oh, when are we gonna get next week? Is it gonna be Eric though?
We had Caden show up to our casual event just every week.
Everyone bans a character.
Yeah, but no, it used to be one free competitive bracket, then it was a casual, then it was our paid monthly, then back to casual. And then I think we finally shifted away from the monthlies, which, funnily enough, got kind of turned into the scoop. Like we had our monthlies, then they were gone for a bit, and then they got turned into the scoop thanks to Aaron. But I guess we'll get to you with Save Room, but that was during my presidency actually.
It was during your presidency.
Talk about Save Room then. Talk about how Save Room came to that.
Because that was a Cooper brainchild.
Save Room was kind of part of a similar initiative. I guess we didn't really talk about our goals like very specifically, but I mean, we kind of get the point.
We'll look back at the end.
Shawn was creating was rebuilding Smash Club after COVID and grew it up to a point where he could hand it off to Logan. So when I do kind of like lump our terms together because I mean we still work together. We were president, vice president,
low-key a
Mario Luigi,
co-presidency.
doing bro attacks.
I'm the Sufak people.
So funny.
But when we were like looking and we were changing the schedule, we were thinking like, well, we need a reason for people to come to Whitewater because, I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere. We're like an hour away from Madison and Milwaukee, so we didn't really have a reason for people to come in terms of like.
Westtown Brawl's right there.
Westtown Brawl's right there on Monday, so people aren't coming. So we needed something else, and I thought a good idea would be to start running another local, but have this one be separate from club, so it wouldn't be like affiliated with club at all. A separate local that is paid and tries to attract people from Madison and Milwaukee. That way, they come to us. We don't have to like drive an hour out. They can come here.
Right.
And we can get that paid experience. We can fight those strong players and build ourselves up to be a stronger region because this was like, early 2023 still.
Yeah, we had big tournaments. None of us were top 80.
We had strong players. We had Gray and Aaron lived in the area as well. You were really good back then.
It's the stereotypical.
I was really good back then.
No, I mean like you were good.
I was competent. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this Wisconsin stereotypical 20-person local, everyone is stacked type of thing.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
wanted something like that because we wanted to get better at the game and we wanted that experience. So that's where Save Room came in. It had a lot of changes. I was actually we were going to run it at like some venue that was going to cost us like $100 per event. And then Shawn was like, no, let's just do it here. And I was like,
And it worked out very
that's
well.
way smarter.
I remember talking to you about like being hesitant about those bi-weeklies because I was like, they were already doing so much. But I feel like you guys doing those bi-weeklies will let you guys like experiment with production, experiment with like getting more players in.
For sure.
To eventually build into like what we have now. But like in my eyes, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had like an entire slideshow that I presented. It was like it was like double. It had two like purposes. There was the let's get better at the game and make Whitewater a strong region, and let's get revenue outside of what the school gives
Yeah.
us, so that we can
Huge.
upgrade
So
our
important.
other tournaments in
So
our club.
important.
If you thought I was terrified, like when you were scared of what I was scared of, I was scared of what Cooper was doing.
Yeah, and you weren't even doing it.
Like I didn't understand what you felt about nervousness about my ambitions until I heard Cooper's, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
I feel like in my term, in our like kind of like co-presidency, because I mean we really did everything together. Like I was the figurehead, but like you were like right there behind the scenes the
Yeah.
entire time. A lot of it was like you had these big I mean, most of the regionals would not have happened if you did not have your ambitious ideas. It was like Cooper, like, what if we do this? What if we do this? And I'm just like, oh, like you're trying to push forward, and I'm trying to like keep everything else together. And honestly, it worked out pretty well.
I
I would
really did.
If you
handle
thought
like
I was crazy, Cooper's a sociopath, dude. He's crazy.
It's just
I
very
mean, it
driven.
worked. You look at our region now, and we have. I mean, Galleon is now like one of the best players in the state.
Yeah.
Gray just won the scoop
Sumps.
over like
He did
how
not
many?
win the
Oh, wait, the last two
No, not win
summit,
the scoop,
the last
sorry,
two
they won the
summit
summit spot.
qualifiers.
Yeah.
We have because was the one right before Scoop? Was it Thursday?
yeah, there was
Thursday
Galaxies
okay.
was in between.
Oh,
But
right.
We had John win one of the scoops. Gray won the other. Whitewater is a very, very strong region
And
now.
Well, John
you're getting
qualified
PR
through Cross
wins.
last year.
Logan is still really
Right?
good. Sam is coming up. Cody is coming
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Jonathan is coming up. We
Much
have
stronger than we were immediately
Gummy
coming out of
worms.
COVID.
We didn't even talk about gummy worms.
Oh my God, we'll get to gummy
worms.
worms.
Is getting PR
We'll get
wins.
to gummy worms.
Like
Separate, yeah.
Whitewater is getting good like wins and good placements, and I do think a lot of that is because we had so many people coming to our region during like the beginning of Save Room, and like they were able to practice with us. We got more integrated in the scene. A lot of our newer players felt more comfortable traveling to other regions.
Yeah.
Can I say something controversial?
Sure.
I think people.
Get the bleep ready.
I think people are too scared to admit that Whitewater could be or is one of the best regions or the best region because of how many.
So there
Or-
was an argument as Whitewater was the best region when Sword was living close and at its peak, and then we had John, Galleon, Gray, Baskin, Sword, and like Envy, and we had like the best 5-man. Like if we had a 5-man crew battle, we'd beat the other regions.
If we're
But that
not
is-
the- if we
that
are
was
not-
like a month-long period, and after that, it was like no
I was
more.
just about to say, there was a brief overlap where John was really good and Baskin was still here.
Yes, and Sword was here.
And Sword was here. And then Sword went to college. Baskin moved to Minnesota. And we're like, well, we're still strong.
And then John broke his arm.
To not, if we're not strong, we brought out the most goats into Wisconsin. I feel like if you think of like where players started, like Aaron started 2020 in Whitewater. Like he was like I remember when Aaron was like 14.
He was
and, like,
Waffles back then.
He was Waffles back then,
Yeah.
and it was like his first local, and he just like got second place, and I was like, just keep coming back, and I kept telling this kid to just keep coming back and keep having fun, and now he's the GOAT.
And that's the thing, like, you look at other regions, I'm going to use Skyward Hero as an example. Skyward Hero's from Milwaukee, and he's a Wi-Fi grinder, but he also had a scene to come up in. Milwaukee was already established with, like, there's a throwdown construct. All of our players that are, like, coming up now came up alongside our locals in our tournaments. Like, without those locals and tournaments, they just, like, without our kind of meddling and
Right.
building up the scene, John probably wouldn't have gotten nearly as good as he is.
Gavin definitely wouldn't have.
I feel like
because I know what he was like before.
Why?
You, out of everyone
The
here,
Joy-Con
out of
warrior?
everyone on this couch,
Was that the tag?
Yes.
The Joy-Con warrior?
He used. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when I first came to club, I used 2 Joy-Cons. And then for some events, I would use a... Is there a switch anywhere here?
No.
Someone hand me a
No.
Joy-Con. Joy-Con me.
What, single-
Left Joy-Con.
Be the one Joy-Con warrior or whatever.
Yeah,
you
we're gonna imagine that you have a
Oh.
So what I would do is I would hold it like this, and I would literally like this was how I would play. Is I mapped all that, like, it would still be like attack, special, jump.
Oh my
But I would
goodness.
play like this on one
Some
joint.
kind of animal.
You're a sociopath.
My Donkey Kong was nuts.
I would
My
never.
Donkey Kong
I
was
would
nuts.
never try to. If I sat down to play you, I'd be scared.
I would too.
So sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, it's part of what Cooper was talking about was we have a lot of players who have gotten significantly better. Just because I know, like, because I'm. I don't want to say least improved, but like
I'll say
I
it.
came into Whitewater.
You started strong. You're still
pretty
strong.
pretty
Yeah.
strong relative to like the player base. But as in general, Whitewater itself has gotten so much better. Not even like including a lot of the outside influence, but definitely part of it. Like having people come in.
I feel
people
like
getting wins.
To bounce off of what you're saying, I feel like when I look at places like Northside, Madison, Milwaukee, like I feel like everyone's already established there. Like I feel like I don't see as many because like I still pay attention to like the locals and like sometimes look at everything, but it's like it's kind of like the same people winning.
It's all the Epic employees that move in and
Right,
start
Yeah.
but, it's like,
house.
but it's like I look at Whitewater
Every
and I see
couple months, there's
people.
another Epic employee coming from like.
Yeah, bye, C. Caleb.
Massachusetts.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Whenever I see Whitewater, it's like the established like Wisconsin people really building upon themselves. But you wanted to talk about goals, so that way we don't get stuck on.
And regionals.
Yeah,
I
we
think
didn't even talk
regionals are.
about the regionals yet. I'll touch on that real quick.
I love those planning
'Cause, I
phases.
mean, we kind of already like we can infer the goal. It was to build up.
Yeah.
The
regionals.
original, my first original goal was to run a regional at Whitewater because I
Yeah, they
saw
carried the
Wex.
torch.
I saw Wex 2019 in the university's theater. It was 19 people, and I said, "This is fucking lame." There's no way 19 people are only going to show up to something like as cool as this. And even though it wasn't perfect, the first regional that we did have, I think it was WEX 2022, 2021, because that's when the COVID restrictions really let out, is when I ran it alongside the esports people. It was like, that was my original goal, was to get something big, to be like, you can't deny that we're something that is growing, and like, this is only the start. Because I remember running Rex 2021 alongside the esports organization, there was still so much improvement to be had. That's when I ran that entire stream setup off of a laptop setup.
Yeah.
And I remember causing a fire
We're
hazard.
trying to project to the projector, and there were issues with delay.
I had an Elgato be like a tightrope between the PC
Yeah.
and the thing, and if anyone touched it, the screen went black. That's another thing that happened. The one fear I had during that tournament was that during winners finals, the screen went black for 3 seconds, and I forget who, but I think it was like Comet and Caden, whoever was playing like whatever set at that time. They both dead stared, looking at the nearest TO with like a glare in their eyes. It quick fixed, and they went back to gaming, and I was just like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I think we've had a technical difficulty at every regional, unfortunately, that we've run. There's always been like
What did we
one
run across
thing.
last year too?
None of the tablets worked for the
Yeah, but we
the
got
pool
around.
cap
Yeah,
thing.
but that's like
well, we always make do.
super. I feel like most of the technical difficulties.
Something
we've
with
had
stream.
have
The
been
technical
pretty
difficulties and the
insignificant.
obstacles that we couldn't overcome before are like irrelevant to what we can do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I think we're kind of caught up to almost current day, right? We're like almost there. We talked about. I mean, we could probably talk about the regionals for another half hour, but for sake of simplicity, we did.
King Me some more.
What?
I want to talk about King Me.
I want to talk about King Me.
King Me was
Say
my
your statement and then we'll jump into that.
Okay, yeah,
Like
yeah.
we're looping
I was
into
just
it.
gonna say
it'll
we've been
quick on my
talking for a
part.
while.
We love talking.
I don't even think it's been an hour. Yeah, it's been a little less than an hour.
But Gavin's on at a
I'm on a
timer.
time
Gavin,
crunch, bro.
you said
Speaking-
12:30.
I'm good to go.
It's 12:21.
That's 9 minutes.
We can,
9
we can,
minutes.
You can,
No.
you can, can you scarf down another 5 minutes?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
talk
just
about
go.
King Me, bro.
No, okay,
Yeah.
so I think King Me was my favorite brainstorming session because I just remember like hopping in that little group chat we had because like we have a million like
Can
little
I
group
pause
chats.
real
Yeah, because that
quick,
was your Arcadian thing.
Yeah, I want to talk about something real quick before that because, like I mentioned, Save Room, part of that initiative as well was to generate funds for Club, and I wanted to use those funds to build up Club as like a really nice local, and then our regionals would be really big. I wanted to use that money to like better the club, obviously.
Yep.
And that money was able to fund. Obviously not. I don't think it was just Save Room because we had some regional money tossed in there, but that was able to fund our current stream setup. It's funded adapters. It's funded a bunch of
You
different
put a bunch of
capture
Key
cards.
Scouts on there
Cables,
too.
cords,
Yeah.
like all the equipment. I know. I feel like we go into every regional broke. We go into and I open the money backs
Yeah.
to do check-in, and I'm like, where did it all
It's been
go?
able-
It's
not
always
like
back into the
Trophies,
events.
medals. It's
Yeah.
been able to fund awards. It's been funding prize pots.
Advertising, hopefully paying our
I
artists.
I was terrified when you kept adding discounts to keep roping people in, but it worked.
We've been funding specific players to come. Like for example,
Yeah.
when it comes to my
Like that terrified me.
Ploopy, we
I would
just
have never
reached
been able
out.
to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ploopy, we gave him. I think his flight was like $100.
Okay,
You
that's
paid
actually
for
not
somebody's
bad.
flight?
We paid for,
I didn't know
Flew
that.
someone in to come win the tournament.
Oh my god.
We paid him $100 to come to our tournament and win $600.
The last
Yeah.
time I did that was like I convinced AK to show up to Wex, and then like Animal Kingdom.
And he
was
won.
like, "Oh, I don't know, Poppin, maybe I should." I was like, "Oh, here, I'll pay for your gas money." He's like, "Okay," and he showed it up and he beat Comet in a money match,
Yeah,
and then
so-
just won. It was so funny.
All of the money that we're making from the save room, the scoop, all of our regionals is just going right back into them. So that was the point of save room. Besides
Right.
getting the region to be stronger, and then let us run these really cool big events with.
Was King Me the? No, it was not the first one.
No, it would have been
technically.
Cross Slasher
Yeah.
1.
Say your thing.
No.
Wasn't Nightmare on Hawk
Nightmare. It
Street?
would've been
Nightmare on
Nightmare,
Hawk
or
Street, and then King Me.
And then King Me, right.
Yeah, so King Me
Yeah.
was like the first.
So King Me was our first like big brainstorm.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy, but I remember thinking when we were talking about different ideas for King Me, for like what like Arcadian aesthetic do we want? I was so happy with settling on like the actual King Me, like kind of moving up from like you're not the checker anymore.
Yeah.
To the you get to be the king. I was really proud of
I
that
was so
one.
happy with how King Me, with you guys performing King Me. It was really sick.
Yeah.
King Me 1 was definitely something special.
That's probably my favorite event we've run.
Like I think
it was really awesome.
Like I feel like my first equivalent to what a regional was for Whitewater is like a stepping stone for what you guys did with the Arcadian, because I feel like that was really the next step up of holy shit, we can run this shit. Because it's like when it comes to like another going back to running a local, it's like you don't realize what you can do until like you really see the resources that you have, and you're sitting at the pay booth, you're 2 minutes from the bracket starting, and everyone's around. You're like, holy shit, we did it. It's such a magical feeling to see everything come to fruition and to be like, oh my god, we actually can do this thing that we've been brainstorming about.
Yeah.
Maybe Clutch Up will be a C tier this time. No one's
That's a
fault.
story for another time.
I'm off that now. Who cares, man?
Yeah, C tier for Cooper. Do it for him.
Yeah.
No, we had. Okay, so yeah, we had like King Me, Cross Slasher, all that stuff, and then in the past year, I graduated college in the spring, and now it's on to the final president, which is Cooper.
Yeah, which is now we're in the president day, or sorry, not
The president day.
Present day, where I'm the president. We have Jonathan, who's not here, as the vice president.
That's Lazy,
Yeah.
the
And,
Isabel.
yeah,
player.
Lazy, the Isabel player
Taco
who
Bell guy.
showed up naked to
Timber
Timber
Tuesday.
that one time.
What?
See, now you're making Aaron put that image on screen. And now TZ's looking at us like he doesn't want to do that.
So,
Thanks, Aaron.
But yeah, so
Can you, like,
You'll see it when you watch the video, bro. It'll be up
Okay.
there.
when like
Aaron's pulling it up.
for this next year,
I don't believe
obviously I want to do a lot of the same
No way.
in terms of we still have save room, we still have the scoop, we still have Cross Slasher, Clutch Up, and King Me, our big regionals. Obviously, still planning on running those as usual. And now I have to train up the younger leadership because I feel like Gavin, when Gavin
He
was
showed you?
production has shown me the image of. I cannot believe that is.
We don't need to.
when Gavin was president, it was
my God.
me and Pob and Aaron. Me and Pob are in the same graduating
That's
class,
crazy.
and Aaron has already graduated.
He graduated
but
before
he
Gavin
obviously can't escape us.
No, he's stuck here.
He's stuck.
Aaron's honestly been like the hidden
Aaron-
boss.
Aaron-
secret
I'm
backbone
demanding
of-
somebody learn from
Aaron
Aaron.
is an
Club.
insanely huge part. Like all of the awesome top 8 graphics and stuff would not exist without Aaron. All of the Start GG graphics and
Our old PR artwork.
This
PR
podcast.
artworks. Yeah.
Dude, would I be
That's
PR if
another
I were a
thing.
worm?
Didn't even touch on that. Just random stuff like that you wouldn't even think about. Like, yeah, we have the big tournaments, but what goes into
I
the
literally
tournaments?
remember
The art
making the
direction.
first Warhawk Rumble or whatever I called it at the time. Warhawk.
Top 8 graphics?
I remember
That was
making the
thing
first top 8 graphic in Photoshop
Okay,
on my
wait.
MacBook in 2020.
That was the thing I wanted to be
Painful.
so on top of is my semester of president. Every tournament immediately had a graphic. Obviously, I just use Top 8er, which is like super
Yeah.
easy. We have really nice graphics now. I believe you make those,
Well,
right?
Yeah,
not
I made.
anymore.
yeah.
They're all gone now. I don't think.
I know, that was my-
I've
good as
been
president.
a little busy.
been
And
busy.
every time I try to teach Jonathan at work, he's like, I have to go in 10 minutes.
He's got Taco Bell time.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to bring up before we run out of time?
I was gonna say so we're moving into the future. You were just talking about how I
Yeah.
feel like this coming spring, we're losing you, Binch, Pob, Gray's leaving. Who else is leaving?
In terms of like people who help out or club members
People in terms
general?
of like who help out. Like there's gonna be a huge shift.
I
There's a
am
big gap.
probably coming back as a student. I haven't announced that to anybody, but I might be back as president in a year.
So where do you want to see the future then go?
Well, you had me and Pob, and like when you graduated, you knew like we knew what to do. We have a lot of people who know what to do. You just listed like a bunch of names. When my graduating class leaves, that's a big chunk to club's numbers and also club leadership because we, like you said, we're losing me, we're losing Mitch, we're losing Pob, and like those three especially are huge, and Brett. Brett's a big one.
I feel like
Brett and Luke.
Is Brett
There's
leaving
just so many people.
I feel like
Brett is. I feel
like
he's done after this year.
After this year.
Okay.
I feel like even though you guys are losing a lot, this is like the perfect moment because like you guys already have established everything. You guys have everything going for you. You guys have everything going right. The only thing that you have to do is like when you go into the spring semester is really like get those torchbearers now and just make sure that they can just transfer the momentum because it's like
I think we need to keep paying Aaron. I think we'll be fine.
Right. Because it's like I reinvented the wheel
right?
when I started my semester, and Gavin just made sure it kept going, and everyone did their part to make sure it just kept flowing. But we're not at a part anymore where it's like, oh my God, what's our next big thing, or what can we do to redefine ourselves? It's just maintaining what we already have.
Exactly.
Yep.
And
Especially
so like
through all the different leadership.
right. So even though you're losing a bunch of people, it's not like we're doing anything different or having to like really like you're not having to like be like, oh my God, how are we gonna get this big room reservation or do like this big task? It's just how do we just stay consistent?
Right, but I think we need to really like. I mean, I say we. I'm not even part of the modern TO team as much because I'm not officially an officer. I'm not a student. But like, we do have new people. Like
we have a lot of new people that really want to learn and want to
we just gotta teach them
club leadership. So yeah, it's my job to now teach them how to do that. And some of it's like the more simple stuff, like how to seed a bracket or how to run like a stream and how to like decide which matches to put on first for bracket to make sure it runs smoothly.
And that teaching part is so important because like I remember teaching Logan and it was just rushed and it caused a little bit of a problem.
I remember when we figured out that I was going to be president, I remember going into like the Discord and seeing you guys in VC I think
hours.
At 10 a.m. and then like I went about my day and I came back at like maybe 7 p.m. and you guys were still in there and I was like, is this really what I want to do? And luckily I never had to sit in there for that long, but I remember you guys.
But there was so much that we put into those meetings. I mean, there was just so much energy.
Rewriting the club constitution that no one bothers reading.
That's the thing too. There's a lot of like not even Smash stuff like
the
school organization, how to use room reservations, how to make a SUFAC budget allocation, how to do the like meetings
access
for the events, how to access the money, how to like for all of the regionals we check out a bunch of cameras from the school. How to do that.
How to use the cameras, getting people for them.
Exactly.
Finding volunteers for everything. And I'm lucky I didn't have to do that because I was typically the volunteer in those cases. And I was more than happy to do that and help. But like,
so there's a lot.
As a president, you really got to do that.
There's like it's like planting a tree that you won't see the shade under, because it's like everything's out of my hands at this point. But for you, it's like you have an entire semester to really sit down, teach, and really make sure that like you can like rest your worries about like, oh my God, what about next semester? It's like you have time to still teach everyone and everything, and it's like that time is important.
I don't want to say I'm worried because like I have full faith in the future club leadership. The club is in a really good spot right now. We have a lot of really motivated people that are willing to put the work in, so I'm not worried about that at all.
It's like
it's gonna be really sad though seeing it go, because I mean I would still love to come and help out for club every week and the big tournaments and stuff.
We all live here still. So you, John,
I got to go back to Illinois. So
you have no clue how hard it was for me to passively say goodbye to the org after putting like 3 years into it. Because it's like I remember when I was in that esports organization when I was in high school, being like, oh my God, I want to be a part of a club one day, and it turned into, oh my God, I'm saying goodbye to an entire like established community that I literally built with my own 2 hands.
I couldn't do it.
And passing on to it.
I'm still here. I couldn't say goodbye. I luckily I got a job in Whitewater. I'm like, oh, I still get to I get to sit under the shade of that tree.
I'm planning on trying to help for the bigger stuff, and I want to come to club as much as possible. It's like an hour and a half drive for me, but
just start bringing PR players.
If I have, I'll bring like shelter up.
That's so funny. In its own way though, where it's like Gavin's like you're able to see that shade, but there is a moment where like Cooper says it's like there's a moment where you do have to let go and see how things go, and there's like that fear of like, oh my God, did I do enough? Did I put enough energy into this? Did I teach this the right way? And that's what I was worried about with Logan. But like Logan didn't have to reinvent the wheel to just ensure that the club's energy and momentum was kept going.
I just basically had to make sure tournaments worked.
And that's still important. That was like I feel like that's the importance of like the Mount Rushmore, is that like no matter how big or small somebody's term was, it took all 4 of us to get Whitewater to where it is today.
And it'll take another 4 to keep it going. Like the bottom line is, it survived from you, to me, to him, to Jonathan, to whoever's after. Like we have, I mean, you said it. We've got Hazy and Jaco and
they're the 2
9,000 Hippos
right?
and D. Like most of our people, like. I mean, the first year, none of them joined in, but like the second year, they're like, oh, like I could see myself doing leadership. Like that's just gonna keep happening. Next year, we're gonna get a whole nother wave of people. The next year,
literally,
it's always a fear of mine every year that I'm like.
But it's always a fear that's proven to be like.
Right, but I'm like, oh man, what do we do when everyone graduates? And then we get people, we get 9,000 Hippos, we get Indeeded people, and Connor, 14, people that it's like. You never know until they show up and you meet them and you can talk to them how they'll do in leadership. But I think they could all do a really good job.
We've built too much history and have looked at the past and like learned from our mistakes to like have Whitewater suddenly vanish off of the map.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere.
No.
Even though we're like the smallest like population-wise.
I remember the day where
biggest hearts.
Yeah, and biggest regionals.
So true. I remember the day where we found like the old YouTube channel for the Whitewater, and it was like Smash 64 and Melee VODs from like 9 years ago before the Zodi era, where I then took over. But it was like I don't even know who was running the club during that time or like anything. But it was like
it'd be interesting to see whoever that was.
It's like the writing on the cave wall.
I think we should spend like a day watching like those old VODs and just seeing like the old names and being like, where are they now? Just like out of curiosity.
Well, Zodi's doing very well in Guilty Gear.
Zodi's like insane in Guilty Gear.
He's like a top player apparently.
What?
In Stride.
Yeah, he's
who's the big robot guy?
Potemkin.
Potemkin. He's like a Potemkin clip farmer, as well as like he just tweets funny shit on social media.
What?
Like he's really good.
I don't think I ever met Zodi.
I didn't either.
Oh. I haven't met him.
I've talked to him on Discord.
There was too much of a gap between my presidency term and when you guys came in to meet him. He kind of like vanished, a year passed, and then you guys came, and then he just popped the fuck off in Guilty Gear. He's doing great though. He's doing his own thing. He's
living the dream.
Oh my god! Wow, that was so crazy.
That's a very somehow the complete history of Whitewater. I mean, obviously we skipped on some things.
Part 2.
Yeah, I think we really rushed over the because you're in Cooper's combined co-presidency was like the most change probably happened then because there's more of a transition period when I was president, and I think Club does look very different, not in direction, but just in terms of how it's operated now between you guys and Shawn.
I feel like we rewrote the Constitution and then you guys just took society and like turned it into like the future.
Yeah,
definitely a combined effort.
Yeah,
if we had a stream. And then we have a stream.
Then we had a
beautiful stream.
Beautiful stream.
Society if we had a stream, yeah.
Yeah.
And VODs and commentary.
And now we
Good players.
Closing comments.
Good players.
Because you have to get out of here and it's like 12:36.
Yeah.
Keep the ball rolling, just like Gavin.
Keep the ball rolling. Let's talk for another 20 minutes.
No, I gotta go. We probably could. I mean,
we definitely could.
None of us have seen Shawn for like 2 years.
For the sake of time, we probably should wrap it up. Maybe a part 2 where we talk about more than the.
I'm down. I mean, all of us literally live like right here. Like we're like
where the fuck are we
within walking distance.
I would love to do an episode that is just like literally how do you start a local, because that was something that I struggled with. Was like I wanted to like look at like how to like when I was starting Save Room. Yeah. Obviously, I had great resources in like Shawn and you guys, but I wanted to like look at like professional like tournament runners and be like, how do I run a local? And the best things I could find online were like 10-minute videos. Like I went to the bar and I asked the guy and he's like, yeah, you could run a Smash tournament here. And then I ran a Smash tournament and that's that. And it's like, that doesn't tell me anything.
How do I
Smash? I
would love to like create that like and just like discuss it for people that are starting.
I feel like the 4 of us could talk for hours about so many things, and I feel like I'm softly throwing a ball when I say this. It's like I feel like we should do another one of these just to like feed into what Cooper is saying, because it's like there's so much knowledge in this room and so many things about like the behind the scenes that we don't talk about, that like even though we've been sitting here for an hour going over basic introduction topics, like we've talked so many details that people wouldn't know.
It could go so much.
Well, look,
deeper.
I mean,
You're very wise.
Let's see. We can make a deal. So if this video gets more likes, we replace John and Gray. Sorry, John, love you. But we replaced John and Gray with Shawn and I. What do you think, YouTube? What do you think, Wisconsin?
This kind of reminds me of how Gavin became president. I'm noticing a trend
We
here
make
with
an
all of us.
executive
Maybe we are
Are
cool.
TOs all evil dictators?
I feel like if we all came together and randomly said like, yeah, we're running the club, I feel like one, the amount of quality that we've put into the org, nobody would question us. Even if somebody did, we were just like, what are you gonna do? Stop
Why
them?
is this a theoretical?
Wasn't this like
if we came up with like, guys, we want to. If I came up and if all of us four came up, be like, yeah, we want to run things from now on, like. We're the goats. Who would say no to us? But also, that's kind of a dictatorship. But it's also like, who the fuck
Kind
cares?
of.
It's fine. Not
You're
worried
Mount
about
Rushmore.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good
it. Can I be
place.
Lincoln?
I feel like if we all came together and ran like one big tournament, I feel like we would be like unstoppable. We'd be too
Super cross slash.
We would hit
We're missing
C-tier.
one piece. You are the missing piece.
true.
Yeah, everyone else,
You have to bring me out of retirement.
Clutch Up 2026.
I feel like it would
I
be
didn't
like.
remember what year it was.
I feel like this is too old to say. It's like the Golden Girls when they bring in like a special guest. Everyone would see me and be like, and they would just fly. I'm kidding.
No.
Yeah. Speaking of special guests, so we're trying this out. It's not just going to be me, Cooper, John, and Gray the whole time. We're trying to kind of like not have the same people on. So you won't see like me every week or Cooper every week or John. Well, they're gone.
Yeah, you won't see
They're
them
gone.
this week. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
So I don't know. Let us know with
Yeah.
whatever else could be because we have a lot of people in Whitewater.
There's
I mean,
a lot
we
of people
could have
in
like
Whitewater.
a whole.
We could ask like Ben Post could come and he could talk about Ben Post things.
Ben Post could be here.
Yeah.
He would say,
You'd imagine
"Amen,
it.
brother."
We
whole
definitely want to have
time.
guests. We want to have a large.
Amen, brother.
We want to have like a large variety of topics that we talk about. Not even just strictly Smash. We'd love to just talk
Ideas.
about just
Dude,
anything. So if you have anything you want to
Cooper
hear
and
us
I
yap
on the
about
Pokemon?
for an hour,
Cooper and I on Pokemon for like.
I could go. For
hours.
Oh no, that
We
would
could
be-
talk about the draft league.
talk
I
about.
will not be here for that.
I know.
episode.
Yeah, you could be
I will
gone.
be gone.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to stop.
I think that is a good
That's
place
too
to
much.
stop.
This is
Yeah,
a little
we need
over.
to
Future
stop.
ideas.
I got a car appointment.
He's got a car appointment.
I bet these
I've got to
paper to
drive
write.
home for Thanksgiving.
I gotta go back to work.
Fucking
Yeah.
loser.
Anyways, thank you guys for watching episode 2 of the Offstage podcast. I'm Quag.
I'm going to a car appointment.
Yeah,
That's your
I'm
name?
going back to work.
Oh, it's my name.
You're saying your name. What are you guys doing?
I've been
I know. I thought it was a bit.
No, it wasn't a bit. Sorry.
I'm Logan or Fatalis.
I'm Poppin.
He's popping.
See you guys.
Take care.